Remember when Battlefield was good?
Pepperidge Farm remembers. But Pepperidge Farm ain't just gonna keep it to Pepperidge Farm self free of charge.
Battlefield has been my go-to for big team battles since Bad Company. However, I wasn't pulled in by Battlefield 2042, despite numerous attempts that game left me wandering. Wandering for another
The great battle crown
to fight on. And the replacement was completely unexpected. It doesn't have guns or magic, yet you can full-chested throw a hammer at someone and dome them with it instead. The game is just unserious and I love it. It has great maps, a fun community, and decent support from the devs. Frankly, I didn't know I'd want something like this or how it would even work. Chivalry 2 has become an obsession of mine over the last few years, playing it way the hell too much, and the devs haven't been much help with that addiction. Adding more maps, more modes, and routinely nerfing my fucking weapons, forcing me to change them and try out new things. Up to this point, I've been a big Battlefield fan since Bad Company 1. Actually, it's that standalone DLC set in World War II back on PS3. I just can't take the sentence, "I've been a fan since 1943, seriously, because it makes me sound like a time traveler. Anyways, the passion died with Battlefield 2042 and its awful launch. So, Chivalry 2 filled the hole. Chivalrously. Some would say these games have nothing in common, but that's only if you haven't opened your Sigma Third Eye yet. The truly enlightened see this game for what it is. Battlefield, the Medieval Edition. So how did I find this game? How do you go from this to this?
That one hurt.
Well, I saw it at a GameStop one day. It said it had 64 player matches and I bought it. Complete random decision with no previous research. Yeah, sorry, but there isn't a special story or anything. I bought the case with the big numbers and a cool cover and gambled on greatness. Also, it was $40, which these days is pretty decent. Little did I know that's probably one of the best investments I would ever make. Its main mode is my favorite mode from Battlefield, Breakthrough, or Team Objective in Chivalry. It is the mode that has been neglected in Battlefield for Conquest. Traditionally, the maps are designed around Conquest first and everything else second, usually just having chunks carved out of them for the other modes. And Conquest doesn't work for a super cool lone wolf like me. So Chivalry 2 basically has Breakthrough as its main mode, with the addition of an ongoing story, which ended up being right up my alley. And the lore is easily accessible if you miss something or are new, which is always nice. But let's be real, the only thing we all really know about the lore is that funny cutscene that plays before each match. And it's there to hype up why we're all here. To fuck up some castles. The main mode of the game is Team Objective, which is a multi-phased game mode in which you lay siege to usually a castle. There's the main mode, which is some variety of bash, slash, or push a thing, and secondary objectives like building ladders, destroying doors, or repairing and using siege gear that can give you a major advantage. And the maps are really good, well thought out, and there aren't any stinkers, though my least favorite is the Slaughter of Coxwell. People tend to hide at the end and it doesn't flow that great. My favorite is the Desecration of Galencore. The flow is a lot better and you don't play as a sneaky peasant. The game gives a good variety of combat encounters, from bottleneck sieges to wide open fields, and since most of the maps are well thought out, there are lots of alternative routes you can take instead of charging headfirst into the meat grinder. You see, it's a thinking man's hack and slasher. And then there's the stuff that's been added outside of that, like the dueling modes and the horses. We're not talking about the horses. So right away, I loved this game from the jump. Melee combat is much simpler than, say, Kingdom Come or For Honor. You have a standard moveset: light, heavy, a dodge, a block, a bash, and a block break, which is just a good, solid kick in the shins. And you also have a binary control over the direction of these attacks, with the potential to feint. Nothing like the other two games where you can control the direction of strikes, which I think makes the game way more approachable while maintaining a high skill ceiling. Some weapons are straightforward to use, and many are hard as fuck to master. Playing this game can also feel like that one movie. You know the one. Hell, pick any one. The Siege of Helm's Deep, The Battle at the Wall, or The Battle at Stirling Bridge. Whatever movie you've seen it in, you get to act it out, which is just awesome. Especially when things get desperate and both sides just start flinging bodies towards each other. It's enthralling stuff. My favorite weapons are the spear and the falchion. They nerfed my spear, my baby. However, it's not the worst downgrade, and other weapons are very fun to use. I don't mind rebalances that make everything viable. However, it hurts the ego a little. Because I was a glaive asshole back when that thing was basically a spear and a sword taped together, with the power of both. I like using the bow too, sometimes as a sniper and sometimes up at the front. One of the best moments in these games is being charged by an overconfident player as an archer, only for you to whip out your sword and a fresh can of whoop-ass on them. I go back and forth between being a badass at this game and just sucking so much ass at it I start to feel like it. Oh, I almost forgot, there is a seasonal mode I like. It's not important, but it's a mode that takes place in the dining room of a castle and has the tone of a food fight during recess. People break chairs over each other like it's WWE, other people get smacked by fish, hit with brooms, getting whole logs thrown at them. This game doesn't take itself too seriously, and I love it. While the community can be dick sometimes, it made the space way friendlier for it. The community is the best sometimes. I have so many little moments like this. Or like this. So many great moments that even without a mic, legit are very funny and memorable. The developer, through the game design, has fostered a very unserious community, and I'm all here for it. Save for the goddamn kick function. Please don't kick the noobs. I want new people in the game, damn it. It feels like the kick button is used for some of the pettiest reasons sometimes. And sometimes seemingly at random. And yes, that is me speaking from experience, and yeah, I'm still angry. They kicked me when I played Thor. The only real flaw in this game that isn't up to taste are the servers and joining friends. Basically, it feels like the game constantly had server issues at one point, from being kicked or straight up cutting your connection during a match. And joining friends, especially across consoles, doesn't work consistently. I have a buddy who switched between PC and Xbox, and I'm on PlayStation. We constantly have issues joining each other. Often we see each other as offline when we are both in the game. So the game on a technical level wasn't quite finished, but hey, it was $40 when I bought it, and it got like 3 years of support, so it wasn't the worst deal. This game introduced me to something I didn't know I wanted, large team-based melee fighting games. And besides for the remarkably similar Morehow, this game has a monopoly on that genre. But to my dismay, Tom Banner said fuck that original concept. Let's do zombies. And it hasn't done well, with some of Tom Banner's worst habits on display. I'm worried about Chivalry 3. With the layoff of so many people, probably mostly people from the No More Room team, which again is a shame because that's a lot of lost knowledge, and it sucks when people's lives are interrupted by shitty corporate management. Rumors are out right now about the possibility of the studio working on a Lord of the Rings game, which would work too if that is the case. So I don't want to end this on a negative note. So despite all that I've said near the end, the game is completely worth the buy. Especially if you were let down by, say, Battlefield. You might like it more than you think. It's my most played game. out of my entire collection, so it was worth it to me. Also, I gotta do something to make all that time worth it, thus the video. Also, despite the shit talking, I hope Battlefield 6 is good, and Labs is looking pretty good so far. Also, just doing this to cover my ass if it is good. If it's not, that's fine. I can play this game for another 3 years. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, sub, and comment. I'll see you real soon. Bye.